Mano is once again in the news cycle for saying something completely outlandish.
You whisper that?
But before we get to that, we need to know who Mano is. Jermaine Coleman, or as we all know him, and I'm using all loosely, Mano is a rap artist and professional podcaster. His claim to fame was hip-hop, and he got his start in prison when he did time for a drug-related kidnapping. Now, I have no problem with ex-cons at all. Sometimes people make poor decisions, and I'm all for supporting them reintegrating into society, as long as they have learned their lesson. But the way Mano talks about the kidnapping scares me. When asked about the charge, Mano stated, "We had a great idea, I guess, but we wound up getting caught." This does not sound like a rehabilitated criminal, as I'd imagine they would admit that it's a terrible idea to kidnap people, or sell drugs, or do crime in general, not say that the crime itself was a good idea. I digress though. While Mano was in jail, he picked up the talent of rapping, which led to him eventually having a hit song with And to give credit where credit is due, I don't think many men can make this xylophone beat into a hit song. However, most of us don't know Mano for his music, but his mouth. Pause. I think the first time I heard about Mano was when he admitted to some very interesting racially centered kinks.
Huh?
No, what was the role play?
Yeah.
The role play.
What was the roles?
This feels like it's gonna be so wrong.
It's so wrong. I'm gonna tell you right now. I've never talked about this.
Ah, shit.
Dun, dun, dun.
I like to be like a runaway slave.
Okay, no.
Mano!
Oh, shit.
Oh my God.
Now, at this point of the confession, I'm already laughing, but he goes on and elaborates on his slave master fantasies.
It's two of them. Like, it's like me getting whooped, right?
You get whooped?
It's like I play like you whipping, but most of them don't want to play like that. This nigga.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what white woman goes along with this?
They don't want to play like that. They don't.
Okay.
This is my. It's like, listen, you're gonna act like your master's wife.
And I'm the runaway.
And I
slave.
just got whooped by Massa for eyeballing
okay.
me. But the whole time you've been really, you
been
liked
eyeballing me
it. You've been
anyway.
eyeballing me.
Oh, this sounds like some freaky porn. I'm interested.
Right, this is some freaky shit. And then I'm gonna come all sweaty, right? Just finished getting whooped. And you're gonna say, no, Billy Joe, no, Billy Joe, no. Massa's not gonna like it. He's not gonna like it. That's what you know you want it, lady. This is his whole script. Yeah, his whole script.
So white women have gone along.
This is information you couldn't waterboard out of me. And do I find it a little bit weird? Absolutely. But this is 2025. We don't judge. I'm not kink shaming, but I am kink asking why.
So the other fantasy is that they whipping me and they calling me a nigga.
With that information that you never wanted to hear being out on the airwaves, you'd think no one would allow Mano to be in front of a microphone again, and you'd be wrong. Mano actually has a podcast with a fellow ex-hip-hop artist, Fabulous, Dave East, and unsurprisingly, Jim Jones, who is another man who doesn't need to have a microphone because he told us his mom taught him how to tongue kiss.
What did she tell you to do?
She told me how to tongue kiss when I was younger.
Like, what's the instructions?
It wasn't no instructions. She showed me with her mouth. Like, she
kissed you?
It's my mother.
Nah, I'm just okay.
On the Let's Rap About It podcast, Mano blessed us with this glorious soundbite.
Sometimes I get into a mode with a nigga and I whisper to the nigga and say, tonight I want to see you use that gun.
You whisper that?
The fuck is...
Paul, yo, man.
Can we get a timeout?
We need a commercial break. We need a commercial break.
That's the craziest.
That's one of the craziest commercials I ever heard in my life.
Put the counter on.
Gun is a pause.
30-second commercial break.
I want to see you use that gun tonight. It's commercial break worthy.
There's an interesting correlation between trying to sound hard or be ultra masculine and ending up coming off extremely gay. They are absolutely cooking Mano in the comments. This is what happens when you too busy trying to sound gangster for the people listening. You don't realize how stupid you actually sound. 99% of these rappers are busters. That shit sounded so gangsta in his head. These dudes are corny, bro. When are they going to let this gangsta shit go, man? They literally offer nothing of value, just a bunch of old mediocre rappers with nothing better to do. At one point they had some influence, and what did they do with it? Nothing. On a more serious note, I think you can tie this to a greater problem with African American men, or men in general. I think too many of us are wrapped up in trying to appear as cool as possible that we don't let the greatest parts of us shine. It's not our fault either. I think we live in a society that reinforces extremely toxic behavior, and it's not just men or women. A woman who thinks she's being helpful by telling you to tone down your goofy personality so that girls will be interested in you is just as harmful as your male coworker making fun of you for being a male fan of Chapel Roan. They contribute to this archaic idea of masculinity that's an ideal that no one can reasonably live up to. And when they inevitably don't, they get depressed and or angry and start resenting a part of themselves. I know you may be thinking I'm looking at this too deeply, but why else would Mano say something so lame? He was in a room full of ex-gangsters and he puffed his chest out just to end up saying something that wouldn't sound out of place in a homoerotic jail fantasy. The main point is, as cliche as it sounds, is to be yourself. You don't have to be tough, gangster, or stoic. You need to become the best version of who you are, because if you try to do anything else, you'll just end up resenting the image that you crafted of yourself out of other people's expectations of what you think you should be.